I always wondered if the media could indeed just continue to beat the drum of this guy's unfit to be American president, and sooner or later, less confident and less secure people would begin to believe what they see and hear. I always believed that was NBC's strategy. CBS, ABC, the Washington Post, New York Times. Okay, the American public made a mistake. They don't really know this guy they voted for. They never were introspective. They never were or are self-aware of how we got there. They just dismissed it as, a group of buffoons making a big mistake. And if we continue to preach to these people day after day after day, they'll come to their senses. That's my biggest fear, that some of this is working, that some of this craziness that CNN puts on the air day after day, hour after hour, minute after minute, some of this nonsense that NBC News puts on the air day after day, CBS day after day, Washington Post day after day, just the hell hacking that all of these media outlets have generated towards Donald Trump and about Donald Trump, that sooner or later a certain segment of the less informed would say, I'm not doing that again. I'm not voting for Trump again. I believe that's their strategy. I believe it's sound strategy if you are what you are. And they're not the media. They're not journalists. They're trying to stop a president from being reelected. In essence, I once thought they were trying to perform a coup. I think they've realized now that that's unsuccessful. They're not going to do that. But I think when Ray talks about the problems of Trump, a lot of them have been self-inflicted. I just said clearly, I don't want my president talking the way he did at a campaign rally. I would rather the president of the United States not say those sorts of things. But I think the reason you're beginning to see a shift is this drumbeat, this day after day after day after day. I've read, and I meant to do this morning, I've read the Washington Post every single day. And it's almost like I need to archive, the headlines and stories. Now, the saving grace of the Republicans is Hillary Clinton. I really believe that. Every time the Republicans did good in the past, Dick Cheney would come out of the closet and the Republicans would get dinged. He was just not a popular figure. He wasn't a well-respected nor well-liked person. Hillary Clinton's a sad individual. I mean, she is what was it, Buzz Lightyear? You're a sad, strange little man. Yeah. She is a sad, sad woman. I mean, her very existence is based on what her value is in the political sphere. That's the only thing she has in this world that matters to her. Now, I know they got a kid, they got a grandkid, I would imagine as a grandmother, she loves her grandkid. I'm not insinuating that, nor am I impugning her, parental skills, nor grandparenting skills. But the only thing that matters to Hillary Clinton is politics. And she lost an election that she still can't accept responsibility of, and she tours the country saying, the most recent is one of the most bizarre, most bizarre rationale I've ever imagined. But once again, Reb, and Ray doesn't want to admit this because Ray's a Democrat, but the only way the Democrat ran and won in that seat last night and today, and he will win. I don't think he'll win by 579 votes, but Conor Lamb will be the new congressman from that district. Now, it's much ado about nothing because the district got redrawn, and they'll actually have to file in another month to run again. There's kind of a redistricting court hearing, and we could go into the weeds and talk about that. But the reason this person won, so some of it was Trump, no doubt about it. I've said clearly that every American president. So don't call in and say, well, the Trumpsters got problems when you didn't believe Obama had problems. Nobody lost as many seats as Obama did. If you really want to track how many Republicans beat Democrats in the Obama era, it's indisputable. Nobody has ever been that bad for one party. Now, the Democrats won't bring that up. It's all about, I watched CNN last night. This could be the beginning of the Trump implosion. Well, I never heard a report about the Obama implosion. I never heard any story in the media about how many seats the Democrats had lost, unless you went to Fox News or turned to Rush Limbaugh or Sean Hannity. That's the only place you ever heard any of that talk. Now is the biggest story in American politics, that Trump is on the way out. That the demise of Donald Trump is evident. This election in Pennsylvania was all about Donald Trump. No, this election in Pennsylvania was partially about Donald Trump. But you can't dismiss history. History clearly shows us that Donald Trump's party is going to have problems. Now, Obama's problem was historical. I mean, it was the most one-sided political event and era in our lifetime. Never before, when Obama was elected president 8 years into his second term, never before had as many Democrats lost to Republicans, and never before in American history had that many Republicans held office. Now, you could go to Breitbart and find that. You could go to the National Review and find that. But CBS never talked about it. NBC never talked about it. But you can rest assured the story today, the lead story on every newscast in America, what we perceive to be mainstream, will this be the beginning of the end for Donald Trump? This is all about Trump. Well, if it's all about Trump, it had to be all about Obama. It wasn't all about Obama, and it's not all about Trump. There's a lot of historical tendencies here that are in play. But this Democrat ran not in opposition to Donald Trump. It would have been foolish for him to run in opposition to Donald Trump. Trump won the district by 20. He's still plus 12 in the polling. I'm not saying the Democrat embraced Donald Trump. He didn't embrace Donald Trump, but he didn't shy away from Trump. He was a pro-fracking, pro-life, pro-Second Amendment Democrat. Name a leader of the Democrat Party. Name a person of prominence within the minority party who believes in fracking, who is pro-life, who is pro-Second Amendment. Very few of those people. And that's why I believe he was successful, because the Democrats, for whatever reason, and I hope they're too stupid to do it again, because if they do it, it could be a wave election. If they allow for these candidates to run on the merits of what they believe is best for that district, we could have a wave election. Let's take a break. We'll be back in a minute. Good morning, PD Live 95.